Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or you've been building them for years. There's something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined tonight by my very special co-host and the director of propaganda, Joe.
Howdy, everybody. Good evening.
Yes, indeed. How are we doing tonight?
Doing good. Been a decent week, so nothing to complain about.
I really don't have anything to complain that much about either. I've been back and forth and bouncing around all over, so I am only slightly more scatterbrained than normal. And which is not that much. I mean, not like some other people we know.
Yeah.
But no, I actually was a little bit excited. I got to do some tinkering tonight, which is always an enjoyment. But before we get into that, did you do anything fun this week, Joe?
Yeah, I actually convinced my wife to let me go shoot 2 matches this weekend. Friday night, we had a birthday party in Sioux Falls, and I took my PCC and my 22 AR-15 22. They had a steel challenge match in Valley Springs. Sioux Falls Practical Shooters did. So it was my first time shooting steel challenge. They had 5 stages set up. And it went pretty good. Really enjoyed it. And then I got up, Sunday morning, and headed for the range out in Rapid. They were Prairie Thunder was also putting on a steel challenge match, and they were doing 6 stages. So I headed out there and had a good weekend. Came out of the weekend being my first time shooting steel challenge with classified B class in both weapons,
awesome,
both firearms. I did have 3 A times, 2 with the rifle, 2 with the 22, 1 with the PCC. Was kind of surprised. I did have a couple stages I shot better on Saturday than I did on Sunday. So if you're not familiar with steel challenge, it's sanctioned with USPSA, but at this time there's only 8 steel challenge stages. Each stage has 4 targets.
Proper stages, right?
Like if you're talking steel challenge, trademarked, all that stuff, there is only 8 that you can run. That are part, like if you go to nationals, you're going to shoot those 8. That's all there's there. There is talk of them adding somewhere between 2 and 4 to add some variety. But steel challenge is strictly, there's 5 targets, 4 of them you can shoot however you want. The 5th one being your stop plate. That plate has to be shot last. You shoot it from right now, 4 of the 6 stages, or 6 of the 8 stages, you shoot from one box. 1 of the stages you shoot from one box and move to the other box. And then the other last stage, you shoot 2 strings from one box, 3 strings from the other box. So you have 5 targets that you have to engage. You can, like I said, engage first 4 however you want, and then you have to hit the stop plate. Any misses, any procedurals are a 3-second penalty. If you don't shoot stop plates, a 30-second penalty. But you shoot 5 strings, like boom, 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 and then your top 4 strings count towards your score. And then there's some math that they classify you and stuff like that. So actually, like I said, I had a really good day out in Rapid City. The RO that I was shooting with was also shooting PCC and 22. So bounced a lot of stuff off of him, talked to him about the stages, how he's shooting them. He is a master in 22 rifle and an A shooter in PCC. And there's a couple stages I did manage to beat him on. But yeah, it was fun. We had a bunch of new guys, so I helped run the timer and the helped RO. So, giving back
That's
to
cool.
the club and stuff like that. But yeah, he was very impressed with my shooting for as well as I was doing. Like I said, in my second one, at the end of the day, I ended up 3rd overall and 5th overall out there in Rapid City for my first time, and
That's pretty solid.
I thought so. Looking at people that I assume have shot this before, maybe not. Just definitely a lot of, like what we learned out in Colorado, which was you're looking as you're sending that round with. So the classes are all your USPSA classes plus 22 pistols and 22 rifles and PCC iron sights. So PCC has an optics and an irons division. 22 rifle has an optics and an irons division. 22 pistol has an optic. So there's a few extras there. The nice thing about if you're shooting 22 pistol or if you're shooting one of the rifles, they have a cone like, I don't know, 5 feet or so in front of the box, and that's where you have to be pointed. Well, everybody that I was watching do it, they're staring at that cone. I'm like, I'm staring at the first target I'm going to shoot and just bringing that rifle right up there and then moving on. So yeah, I had a good time. If you're going to introduce somebody to speed shooting or action shooting, I would recommend Steel Challenge just because there's not a lot of thinking. There's not a lot of moving. It's a lot easier to introduce them and then move up to the other stuff. Like we made the joke out there, it's the drag racing of shooting sports because you're trying to see how fast you can pull the trigger. A lot of sub 2. Like the guy I was shooting with had a couple sub 2 runs, like under 2 seconds.
Dang.
Most of mine were, if I didn't have any mics, if I had a mic, I slowed down. Like I'll just, especially if it was if I hadn't had a throwaway string yet, I would slow down just to get the hits on the end. But I had a lot of sub 3s. I think I can't remember what my fastest was. I think it was right about I hit 2.2 maybe was my fastest on the day or on the weekend. But again, these are stages like these guys go practice on. This guy, like I said, the RO shoots down in Mitchell, Nebraska at Scotts Bluffs shooting. They run a match every week or once a month. So he's shooting them all the time. He's also going to Torrington and a couple other places. So, they see them a lot. They even said that out in Sioux Falls, like the guys, it was earlier this year, maybe last year, they said a bunch of the guys from Omaha came up and they take it seriously. And they're like, they were shooting darn near 1 second runs and the timer was picking up like 2 shots, but you heard the dings all the way across. So, but it's a lot of muscle memory, just knowing exactly where to go and pull the trigger because everything's the same. It's like shooting trap. It's like shooting, basically like shooting trap, but with rifles or pistols because you're doing the exact same thing over and over again. And even trap's got more variety than this does. So, I don't know. I've probably got that bug now. Looking at 22 rifles, actually building one out instead of using the 1522. Some guys are building out 1022 actions on carbon fiber barrels, fiber carbon buttstocks, and these things are weighing like 2.5 pounds. So we'll see if I decide to build anything over the summer or over the winter. Everything I've looked up, it's Ruger 1022s and Ruger Mark IVs, and they're like, and here's what you do to them, and you're going to be as good as you can shoot because that's the best you can build. You can build them. So we'll see how it goes. I know they said they want to shoot more out in Sioux Falls or out in Rapid City with it. I think they shoot 1 a month in Sioux Falls. So
we'll see how it goes. To get into it at least.
What's that?
Have some opportunities to get into it.
Oh least. Yeah. And it's fun to shoot. I know they do a big, like we do the sectionals. Like I went to the Minnesota sectional or the Great Plains sectional for USPSA. They have a big, I think they call it the Cornhusker Classic is their sectional for steel down in Nebraska. I might be wrong on which one is, but I know they have a sectional down there for it. So we'll see how schedules and stuff like that shake out next year. I'd like to shoot it more because I feel like I have a very high ceiling in that one just because of how it's set up. But we'll see. I would still like to shoot more of the moving in action, but this is just a nice, hey, when you need to feel good about yourself, you can just go throw some 2-second strings down and call it.
Yeah. I know that I've not shot an actual steel challenge, but I have shot them a lot on the Ace VR system, and that's been really good at managing transitions and going across and things of that nature. Uh, I did not do anything that fun. I still had fun, and I still used a gun, but we had pheasant season open up here, and I had to take my brother and nephew out. So I took them out pheasant hunting, and we got I got my limit one day, and the next day I didn't shoot. So, but nope, did that over the weekend. I was most excited about some stuff that happened today. I I got in some parts I had ordered and was waiting for them. So I will say sorry to the people watching on YouTube because you may get lose the live stream. But if you look here, what this is this is a spur mount for the micro pattern. So it's they say for an aim point T2, but if you look closely, you'll see this is a Swamp Fox Liberator because they use the same bolt pattern. And I have behind it a Primary Arms 3X magnifier, and it drops right up in place. It's a one-piece mount that you can have everything. Works kind of like the Unity mount, but it drops down directly behind and everything stays in line with the gun and it's flipped to center. So that is, I think, a major benefit and could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you sent it out on Snapchat and we were talking about it a little before we went live, but from seeing that one as opposed to the other one you have with the magnifier, it sits nice and tight yet on the barrel, to the center of the barrel or center of the rifle, whereas that other one sits way out. And to me, that would throw off your balance, especially if you're using it in a 3-gun match or a PCC match like we have down in Grand Island for zombies, with a optic hanging off to the side. You've got to make sure you clear the barrels, you got to clear the walls with it and stuff like that. Whereas that one, it's right there, nice and tight. So I think that is a nice looking rig, nice looking paint job too.
Yeah. So Klecker says that he just ordered some Temu parts to test, and he has a few Unity and GBRS Temu mounts that work great at like a tenth of the price. And
well, I don't think it's always the quality that you're getting when you go there. It's sending the money to the communists.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, if we could find a U.S. company that was doing that, I'd be all for it. But I mean, everything's getting made over there anyways. It's just whether or not we're paying the tax to the American corporations so that they get their profit as opposed to the
but no, I am very excited to put that mountain rig, set up through its paces. I know that is a gigantic 3-power magnifier, just because originally I had that set up behind behind a different dot, and I kind of did the balling on a budget version of it and got it was a Primary Arms red dot mount or magnifier, and it was like the cheapest one you could get from PA. So yeah, it's right now full price for that one is $99.
Nice.
For the one that I have on there. Going with one of the micro ones, which would be on has the same footprint as a EOTech G33 mount instead of a circle to go around, then you'd be putting like a $200 magnifier on behind it instead of the $99 that I have. So a little bit of size difference there, but we're running with what we got. And I said, I'm going to try that. So, Dr. Scary Guy says you guys should get Rocky Harrigan on from Unbranded AR on. I would not be opposed to that. I might reach out this week and see what we can do. But those are some of the things we've been doing is just kind of go back, resetting equipment, getting stuff set up.
Yeah, there is talk. I know they're doing another USPSA out in Sioux Falls. I know I won't make that. But, Bruce was talking at the range meeting, match safety brief. Not a lot of notice they'll have, but if it's especially out in the Black Hills, you can get some pretty nice days in the middle of the winter. So if they said if they get some nice days, they might just throw up the Steel Challenge with like a week's notice to go out there and shoot. But yeah, that's probably the end. I know I think I said it after Area 3, but it's probably the end of my competition shooting until spring, unless we get a wild hair to head down south this winter, which wouldn't take a whole lot of convincing on my part. My wife did make the comment earlier this week. She asked me if I was planning to go shooting this weekend, and I said I didn't have any matches scheduled. And she said, no, I asked if you were going shooting, and so I don't even think I'm allowed to go to the range this weekend because I was surprised after Area 3 drill and then heading to Colorado that she was okay with me shooting twice this past weekend. I think I got lucky that our nephew was having his second birthday Friday night, so I could leverage that into, hey, you can go hang out with them before they leave for Florida, and I'll go shoot. And
yay!
Yeah, gotta figure out how to ask the questions that are hard to say no to. But yeah, so I've got to start going through at least the competition guns that I've got and getting them cleaned up as we settle in for the winter up here. It's been pretty nice lately, but it could turn. I mean, we're almost into November. We can have snow on the ground next weekend. We will probably have snow on the ground for Halloween. It's just the way it goes.
Well, and I know that I'm teaching a class this weekend, so I'm hoping the weather holds for that. But it is again hitting that kind of end of season lulls.
Oh, end of season when you're way up here in the north.
Yeah, it might not be end of season for the guys down south, but
it's the same. It's the same as the guys that ride. I met a guy on a poker run a few years back. He lived he had a camper out by Spearfish, and he had I think he had a full motor home, but yeah, he lived down south and RV'd everywhere down south during the winter, and then came back up here for the winter. And that's kind of the same thing where, these guys, a lot of our listeners are down below that frost line where they get to keep shooting all year, whether it's just going out and having a good time or shooting matches.
Well, I have heard of some of those guys that shut things off in like July and August.
Yeah.
Because
that was what it was like when we were in Arizona. Everything was closed down over the summer because no one wants to go out when it's 130 degrees out. Me and my wife found that out when she came down for my pass because we were in Fountain Hills and couldn't find anywhere to eat. And they're like, yeah, this is kind of our off season. And we're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. But no, there's always kind of a downturn in season, and you might be traveling more, you might be doing something, or maybe you just get done with a couple major matches and decide to go through and go, you know what? It's time to kind of reset. And it might not be swapping optics and other gear around, but Joe, I know that everybody kind of has their own rituals for what you do to kind of close things up. Like I know dudes who have, like their ritual for when they get done with hunting season. It's like, okay, they might clean everything up, or they shot the gun once and then they just shove it back in the safe until it's, I got to clean it before gun season.
Well, that's kind of how I run. I usually clean everything up before I go to the big matches. and then I shoot the thing dirty until the night before the next match, and then I clean it because I really don't care if it goes jams up or if I have to do some malfunction remedial stuff when I'm practicing, because that's also a good thing. But I want it running flawlessly when I get to the match. So I do most of my maintenance, most of my PMCS, the checks and stuff like that, the day or two before the match. That's probably going to bite me in the ass one of these times when something's actually broke and I can't get a replacement part for it.
I know someone that happened to once.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I go. Now you talk about the guys that I can understand, like you said, guys go hunting, they shoot once or twice and they clean them up and stuff. But especially around here, if you start getting into, I can remember when I was younger, most deer seasons we were hunting in the snow all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the waterfall guys, it doesn't matter. They're going out when it's sleety, it's rainy. You're going to want to make sure you get those guns wiped down. You're going to make sure you want to get oil on them so stuff doesn't rust while it sits in the safe all year. Like I said, I'm going to, in the next week or two, go through the competition guns, get them cleaned up, get them oiled up so they're not just sitting, in the safe, rusting, or even that when that brass and carbon starts to turn blue.
So Dirt Racer here in the comments says, throw it in the ultrasonic and blow it off with the air compressor after a few minutes.
Yeah.
That's not far off of what I do, especially like mid-season. Hey, this is getting really, really gunked up and bad. I should probably clean it off and take the bulk of the carbon off.
Yeah, I don't care if something goes down at a local match. Again, that's just okay. I'll go home. My day is over. I'm not spending $100 plus driving 8 hours plus hotel rooms to lose out or not even care, because I'm not even trying to win anything. I'm just there to have a good time and try to get better. But I don't want to, on stage 2, the weapon goes down and now I'm just twiddling my thumbs in Casper for the weekend or something stupid like that. So that's where I'm at. And we've said it with some of the guns we got that we do shoot all the time, because when we do get those nice days in the winter when we're out, like, let's go, got a half hour or an hour to just put rounds down range, our go-to guns, the M4 clone, your do-it-all rifle, them things don't get cleaned. Because we keep shooting them. Part of
it's
like
they'll get
maintenance,
cleaned, but it's
we see it all the time in the guard. Vehicles, 90% of the reasons we have faults and maintenance services problems with our vehicles in the Army is because we don't touch, or in the guards, because we don't touch them until for a month or 3 months over the winter, or if we have a month where we don't do anything. So if you're using them all the time, it's not as big of a deal. It's once they go into storage, once you're putting them on. As I said, if you're down south where you're probably going to get out and you're going to go shooting all the time, you're probably doing just your normal, hey, I'm going to wipe it down because I had a couple more failed fires or failure to ejects last time I was at the range, as opposed to the guys up here, especially once they're done hunting, I would wipe them down and get them in this, the safe. But as for like I said, the competition guns, when I'm shooting all summer long, I'm just making sure they're double checking everything before the weekend when I go out, because you don't want to get there and break. Just like always having extra batteries. Right now, I know they say they last forever, but once I pull those things out of the safe next year, probably the night before I go to my first big match, I'll put all brand new batteries in and run them for the year.
Well, and that's one thing that I will say. I generally, I'm going to say I swap batteries more often than not. Then I realize my carry gun, I let the battery go dead in. But I still try and do about every 6 months I'll swap batteries out.
Well, the thing with your carry gun is we're all running shake wakes, but dude, just riding around in the vehicle, it's shaking all the time, so what's on all the time.
Well,
it's not like
I carry appendix all day, every day.
Yeah,
So,
so it's moving around with you, and it doesn't know the difference between you hitting washboards or getting out of the truck to go grab
yep.
a Little Debbie as opposed to drawing to shoot. Like, it's not like our competition guns where we're turning them on at the beginning of the day and shooting and then turning them off when we're done. And even that, like the Gideon I've got that I put on the CZ has shake wake, so it'll go to sleep if it's not going to at a match because it'll be on my hip. But if I was to take it off and leave it in the cart while I'm resetting stages and stuff like that for a half hour or so, it's going to save battery that way. Like I said, the guy I was shooting with out in Rapid City, he was running Seymours on everything, and you can't run them things all day long. They're notorious for you have to turn them off after every stage and turn them back on when you get in the box because them things eat batteries like Marines eat crayons.
No, and that is definitely truth. I say, like, I'll go through now and kind of do all right, I need to do my catch up and swap some batteries around and things of that nature. I know that now gets to a time of year that I like and Joe hates, because I like that it gets dark earlier, but everyone hates that it gets cold quicker. And it is, I'll start doing a little bit more night shooting stuff right now, or try to get out to run some of that. So I'm going to be swapping that gear in and out, and I'll be running a lot more battery driven stuff. So I kind of, in this off season time, go through and reset my batteries. It might also be when I'm going through and kind of, like I said, I'm throwing. I would say it's the time I throw a new mount on or try something new, but we all know that's a lie for me. I'll throw a new mount on or a new dot, or like, hey, this is something different and new. I got a major coming. I'll run it there. Why not?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, best way to test it out. Baptism by fire, right? See if it's gonna run. See if you like it. Again, like we said, we're not out there trying. We're not out. We know we're not going to be competitive to win anything. If we get to that point, maybe our outlooks on stuff change a little bit, but we're gonna find out if we like it. It's hard. It's hard to practice something and play with it until you actually get out in the real world.
I want to run it till I break it, and I can break about anything. But I know there's one thing I can't break, and that's VZ grips. And the unique feature of VZ grips is they're machined from a solid block of G10. And G10's great because it's durable. It doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, as well as color options and shorty versions, are also available. 1911 grips with extreme customizability, standard slim palms, full of sun notches, safety kits, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available. And there's one coupon code that is good for 15% off all handgun and rifle grips. And that code has changed. And that is AR-15 Pod 15. That's right, folks. New code from VZ Grips. AR-15 Pod 15. So, this isn't exactly the time that I'll go through, because I generally can't help myself when I'm running. Like, after I get something set up, I'm going to have to go try it out. I can't just look at it for 2 or 3 months. It'll be, hey, we're going to run this now.
Well, yeah, because you got to make sure you beat their return policies if something doesn't work or break or is malfunctioned, I should say. Because even if it doesn't work for us, we're going to keep it and put it on something else or trade it. But
I know that I have a red dot right now sitting on a 22, and I was told it was terrible and it was absolute garbage. And when I put it on the pistol, it definitely seemed to work. Like, and then when I handed it back to the guy who said that, he was like, yeah, it seems fine now. I don't know what the problem was. I think it was mounted incorrectly.
probably.
But no, so when I get close to the end, or like closer to the end of a shooting season, because I think that's the way to look at it, is it might even be like, if we break it down to, like, I know as it gets cooler up here, people will move into different carry guns. people will transition to different things. So it might not be like end of season or like, like I said, downtime distress. It may come down to, hey, I'm going to swap my carry gun. I'm going to swap what I'm doing because you move into hunting season. So you kind of change some of those things. And
or just, especially like you said, up here, it gets cold out. People start wearing more layers. You can usually carry a bigger pistol. You can change where you're carrying it, how you're carrying it, because you have better coverage. So,
yeah. And, you go from like, oh, hey, I'm carrying my 365 to I have an MP5 under my jacket. But also, everyone, just so you know, I asked Grok today, and he said that Grok said that it was still safe to carry a 320 outside the waistband. But no, that was just had to let everyone know that Grok says 320s are safe.
So. Well, did you ask me if you can carry an appendix? Because outside the waistband, I'd still feel pretty safe.
I said OWB. I did not say appendix.
So I'm not going to say they're not safe to carry outside the waistband. It's just, if you're carrying correctly, it should not be pointing at anything, unless you're standing in line with a bunch of weirdos. But
yep, I see Dusky asking in the chat here, do we have any more classes coming up? I am teaching a class. I'll have some other stuff like that going on, but no more big classes until probably next summer, maybe one in the spring, and some matches coming up. But
I know I've been checking all the big name instructors that travel around looking for something within about an 8-hour drive. Unfortunately, they don't come up very often. And then making sure it's something I actually want to take and not some weird class on long range shooting with your shotgun or something.
Although I will say, I am incredibly interested in taking a combat shotgun class.
Oh, I would take a combat shotgun class. Speaking of, I think we should get Garth's shotgun and put your extra artist in it.
I'm not sure how that'll work, but
that's why I want to do it. I want to see what happens.
Yes.
Or I'm going to go buy my own and see what happens, because
run the super safety in the Atreus. That could be a lot of fun.
I don't think it's practical for anything other than just being stupid, but I'm going to try it.
I don't think my Atreus is practical for anything other than being stupid. Actually, that's not exactly true. There may be a use case for that, but if there's a use case for that, we're at full on Red Dawn. And
yeah, can you imagine that with a shotgun? Every other round, buckshot and slugs flying every other round out of it.
So I'd be way more I'd actually probably be way more apt to go to like 8-shot or even 9, because I want to use it for drones.
Swap mags. Gotta have one of each mags. Kind of like
Die Hard 2, red
Die
mag,
Hard
blue
with
mag.
the red and blue mags. Yeah, you knew where I was going. See,
I know how you think. Yeah, let's do the drone warfare thing, and be able to take some out, because that is terrifying. If you went back to 2004 me and was like, hey bud, those IEDs on the side of the road? Yeah, in 20 years they're gonna fly.
Like, so you're not worried about the what's going on in front of you. You got to worry about the piano wire trying to take your heads off. Now you got to worry about these things buzzing in at Mach 3, loaded with explosives. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. No, but Klecker in the chat, my Red Dawn shoddy is an old Ithaca 12 that slam fires.
Is it a 10 gauge?
Well, no, see, that is the one gun in my collection that if I find one, I may just have to instantly buy it. And that is a very limited run that Ithaca made. It was called the Road Blocker 10. and it was an Ithaca Mag 10 with a 20-inch barrel that they made for the highway patrol because you could take out a engine block with a 10 gauge slug. I see Joe's brain running there.
No, I was reading something. I've heard that. I've
Oh.
heard you talk about that before. That none of that surprises me.
Yeah,
I know
I
how
just
that.
want one because,
Yeah.
well, reasons. No, anything else that you think that is a good thing to do? I know that even mid-season, and end of season and preseason, one of the good things that I find to do, because I always seem to find it otherwise in the middle of a match, is tighten gear.
Yeah. Check your torque. That's a good thing. You know, even going through
Well,
your know how to check your stuff, like how to check the gas rings on your bolt. You know, take it and see if they slide down when you put the weight of the bolt on it. But yeah, making sure stuff is tight. Just
like one of the
torque it.
bigger things I've seen with that, with making stuff tight, is like again, you were hitting on gas rings, and there's the test you can do for that where you pop, you pull your bolt out, extend it out, and you set the bolt carrier down on
Make
top of
sure
the
it.
bolt face, and it should hold itself up. If it doesn't, that means your gas rings are bad and you need to replace them. But the other things that I think people kind of forget about is checking to make sure that things didn't vibrate loose.
Mhm.
It's happened to me. uh, you know,
Oh, wait. And we see a lot more of it because we go to a lot of places where people are shooting all the time. But even at um, on range days with the guard or anywhere, we had how many optics came loose in Colorado? At least 3 that I can think of.
yeah. Checking your witness marks, retorquing, your bolts and your mounts and things of that nature. Going through and making sure that the retention on your holster is good, because that's not going to be a problem, because, well, it is kind of a problem because if you're using it and moving around a lot, you know that a lot of kydex will sometimes bend and move through. But if you're in need of a reliable custom kydex holster, Klecker Tactical is your one-stop shop. Using premium USA sourced material, Klecker Tactical will build you a holster in a variety of styles, as long as color options with light and laser options. Whether you're in law enforcement, a competitive shooter, or an everyday gun enthusiast, trust that Klecker Tactical provide every firearm owner has access to top-tier and personalized holsters, as well as quality custom products you can't find anywhere else. Use code AR-15 podcast for 10% off at KleckerTactical.com.
No, there's a lot of stuff you can be doing. Like I know right now, when the season started, I had everything nice and lined up. Everything was organized. Shit is everywhere right now. I've
Oh,
gone
man.
through 2 range bags. I started a new range bag. I've got my multi-carry or multi-rifle carry now. I've got stuff all over. So I've got to sit back down, look at my belts, renew my belts because they've been scattered. I bought a new Blue Alpha a month or so ago.
Yeah, I had magazines vomit all over
Yeah,
my
magazines all over the place. I got a pile of magazines on my floor right now that I just have to go through. And that's another thing to check. Check your spring pressure. Check your follower. Make sure it's moving nice and smooth. Nothing's ate up on them. Check, hold up those PMags. Look at the back of them. Make sure they're not too wide. They're
make
not.
sure they haven't split. Check feed
Yeah,
lips on metal mags.
yeah,
It's a good time to kind of go through, and whether you're thinking about, end of season maintenance, mid-season maintenance, or preseason maintenance, that's all kind of the same thing. Hey, I need to go through, kind of set this up and reorganize, refit, and go, all right, yep, this is where it's at. I know I had piles of like boxes of ammo, because it's, hey, we just went to a case or to a class where I took 1,000 rounds.
yeah. I just
And
took the whole box. I didn't even.
yeah, I took a whole case. And then it's, well, I'm out of this, so I have a case with 200 rounds sitting here, and I have,
Yeah.
so kind of retrofit those things back together.
Yeah, it's going through organizing everything, getting everything nice, lining up, count your mags, make sure you didn't lose any, that sort of stuff. There's a lot you can do when, like I said, for us, when the season changes and we're gonna have some downtime, because even when we do get out now, it'll be maybe once a month or so. So we'll come back. I'll take the time to put stuff back nicely, because then my wife's not yelling at me for the mess in the laundry room or my storage room. And then, but when I'm grabbing the stuff every weekend or 3 times a week to go to the range, I got to clean the back of my truck out right now. It's full of targets and steel and hangers and 2x4s and so that's something I need to do. Organize all that up, figure out which sticks are worth keeping, which ones I should just throw. There's a lot that you can do, and then it becomes changing over the rifles to the red or the Blackbeard, changing probably throwing a laser in the CZ and dry firing with that stuff until I can convince my wife to
hooking up my cool fire. But
yeah. I was talking to guys about that we were talking about that out in Rapid City this weekend. No one knew what the ACVR was. I'm like, how do you not know that? Like, I'm still, as dumb as social media is, the companies are, the amount of ads I get for ACVR, a few other VR shooting setups, the Mantis, there's one more that's like Mantis with, the casing, strike
or something like that.
Yeah, that one. Like, they're all over my feed, so it's weird. But yeah, I'll make that switch, and then I'm gonna inherently forget to take that laser out of my pistol. And the first time I get to the range, it's not gonna load correctly, and I'm gonna be, what the fuck's going on? Oh, yeah, and I gotta get some pop.
I don't have to worry about that because I have to buy a new one of those.
Oh yeah.
Yep. There was an incident.
Need to get my printer out and reprint some of my dry fire targets. So, but yeah, that's that transition that especially this up here, like I said, we'll go through from can't get out to the range, but like most of my dry fire stuff, I just go to the range at night during the summer and get it in, as opposed to, because then I don't just swap it all back and forth, because it's not hard. It's just stuff I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, and I know that I shoot more in the winter than most people do, just because like I'm still out teaching classes. So
well, you also get a whole Friday off. So if it is nice out, you can get that mid-afternoon nice day where most of us get off work and it's dark out.
I know. And I take full advantage of that.
I would do.
It's like, hey, there's nothing going on. It's gorgeous out. I'm going to go ahead and hit the range. And
if I could ever find the money in a place to have an acreage outside of town where I could just have something set up to step out back on my lunch breaks, especially in the winter, would be awesome. But
yeah, that would be the absolute primo, is to have your own private range sitting there right with you that you could step out on all the time.
And never use it.
But now Dirt Racer says next year he's going to a PRS match. Actually, tomorrow I have to call some of my PRS buddies and talk to them about some stuff. And
I wouldn't mind shooting a PRS match just to do it. Again, I'm up for shooting anything, any competition type stuff.
I enjoyed, like, I shot one proper PRCS or PCR, precision rifle match or PRS match, and I keep being like PCSL, and I'm like, no, it's
that's
yeah, but I really enjoyed it, and I kind of got the bug, but then I had decided that I was going to hitch my wagon to like, nope, going to do this. Excuse me, sorry about that. But I wanted to, like, I built a gun very specifically for that match. And, I built an AR out for a class and had everything ready to go for it. And they promptly quit holding that match.
Yeah, it's too bad that one died, because that would be one we could just hit up every year just for the sake of going to one.
Yeah, and they've had a local one here as well. I just have never been a part of it after that. And I don't think they had it this year, but I know that we have some friends who were pretty heavy into it and have talked about kind of dipping their toe back in. And I know that when I went and took PRS class, it was very enjoyable. But I want to do it again with a run the gas 6.5 Creedmoor more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm an AR guy apparently.
Yeah, it's too bad they don't do a small caliber. It's not necessarily small caliber, but not like a 22 caliber type.
Well, they had
class.
a gas gun class that was just a
Yeah,
straight up
but they're still shooting. You say they're still shooting gas gun with
6.5
30
Creedmoor like I would
calibers
be.
and the big ones. I mean, I think it'd be fun to be compete
Do it.
against other people with AR-15s. Not
Yeah, and that was
because
kind of
there's so many of them idiots out there that think they're the greatest shot in the world. Like, let's go do this. I know.
Yeah, but they don't show up to competitions.
No.
I know that because I've asked them to. Hey, why don't you come out and try us? No, I already know I'm good. Okay. But no, it's definitely fun. I'm gonna start planning matches and events to hit next year and go through. The other thing that I do is when I come up, because I kind of hit my slower season for some of this stuff, I generally take November off from teaching, sometimes even December, but generally November just because hunting seasons and things of that. But
yeah, most
now is when
people.
I'll go through and start to reset my target stock and order things like that because I'll be like, oh, hey, how many USPSA targets did I go through? How many paper targets did I have? I'll start ordering all of my ones that I use for classes. And
Yep.
if you're tired of replacing worn out targets every session, go buy TCRT targets, the self-healing, long-lasting solution meant for real shooters like you. TCRT targets are self-healing, modular, and tough, built to take 400 plus rounds of 5.56 per square inch. They cut on ricochets, set up fast, and last far longer than throwaway targets. Upgrade to TCRT targets today, the target that lets you train safer, longer, and more effective.
Speaking of TCRT targets, did Garth ever get those ones? Did he order or not?
Yeah, he got them ordered. I'm not sure if he got them set up or not. I know that we were talking a little bit in our chat earlier, and he was talking about where he was going to set some stuff up at. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I feel like if he got them, he'd just send us a picture. So maybe he's still waiting on shipping, or maybe he didn't actually hit complete order.
yeah, I just know that he was going to get them set up, and I'll be excited to kind of try some of those out. But running through, especially with some of the drills we've been doing, like I know that a couple of our listeners reached out to me and were talking about like the dope drill and the man card and stuff like that. And those are just solid drills to run on your own as well. And now's the time to do some of your dry fire, get that stuff set up. Like you were saying, kind of reset, do that. Unless you're rolling into season, then you should have already been doing your dry fire and getting all of that set up. But I think it really comes down to when you have that kind of lull, it's the time to reset, reorganize, retorque your gear, check your witness marks, make sure all that stuff's on there. Check your mags periodically. Make sure you have good mags. Everyone knows, I'll tell you, you do not have enough magazines. Go buy more magazines.
No. Yeah, so anytime I see a good deal on them, it's like, ooh. Or when I see a pack on Gunbroker, it's like, hey, does anybody want to go in on this? Because we can save a ton of money if 3 of us pay for this. But
I just rebuilt a bunch of metal mags.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a vibe. I'm not gonna lie. Like
there were some excited people when you brought them on.
Yeah. The 20 rounders with the Magpul followers and the Ranger plate bottoms. Like it's a whole vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just like, hey, yeah, this is just a thing we're gonna do, and they run great. I'm not going to. They might be more for LARPing or for running with the M forgery or something like that. I run, like, I still primarily run PMags for everything. I PMags. I've got a bunch of Lancers. The KCI Megs have really, really impressed me because I have beat the absolute dog shit out of those. Like, I know, Joe, you've seen me just
Well,
running
yeah,
the
you
hell.
ran. That's all you ran at zombies, right? Was
Yeah.
your KCIs, and then the one died on you promptly after that. But that happens. I mean, it didn't die because it was faulty construction. It died because you put that much through it. I mean, any engine's gonna die if you put 100,000 or 300
Yeah,
million miles
and
on it. It's like, yeah, I think the big thing with PMags is they're just, you can walk into about anywhere and get them. You can, if you're patient, you can find pretty good deals on them.
buy cheap and stack deep, people.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the other thing you need to do, buy more ammo.
Yeah, it's time to start restocking ammo because my wife knew how much my ammo bill was this summer. I think I'd get kicked out of the house, but there was a lot of ammo through in this household. There's only one shooter.
There was quite a little went through my house, and well, you figure
Yeah.
we just had a class where we did 1,600 rounds a piece.
Yeah. Not to mention, I went to 5 majors at 300 rounds each, probably. A training session, dude, like a 2-hour training session, I'd go through 300 rounds in. It's actually probably more like an hour and a half. I could go through that much, depending on what I was doing that day. I tried talking my wife into coming with me, so I'm like, "Hey, you reload the magazines for me, so I can just keep shooting." But
I know how well that worked.
no, it didn't. She's like, "Yeah, it's hot out. There's mosquitoes."
Like, but there's a plant there.
No, she's not your wife. She's not going to go to the range and then just start picking plums. Not going to happen.
That's that mine does that. But no, it's definitely like getting the ammo reset, getting all those things done. I
Well,
know
yeah,
that
that's what I was kind of saying earlier. Like, get everything organized. Give me like, ooh, I'm missing a full. Somewhere along the way, I shot an extra case of ammo. So, like you were just saying, go buy more.
I might know how that happened to me. It's might sound like an Atreus.
Whoops.
Because when it just goes, where'd that go? Oh well, this is fun.
Hey, check this out. Yeah, doesn't
You
take.
guys ever shot a machine gun on peyote? That's a deep call for the internets.
Yeah, that was a good time.
But no, anything else you want to add tonight, Joe?
No, just keep shooting, keep doing your, do your stuff, get out there and put rounds down range. Check out our website, check out our sponsors. Go ahead and give us a like, share. If you guys see stuff that you think is interesting, send it to our Facebook, send it to our Instagram, email it to us, throw it on our Discord. We'll share that stuff and get it out there. We're always looking for stuff. Like earlier, if you got somebody you think we should invite to the show, whether it's a company, just some random person. I mean,
the guy from
no
Lima
gun bunnies.
6.
We don't need Garth simping over that kind of stuff. But
yeah, Lima 6. I have reached out, been talking to them. He just asked for it to slow down just a little bit. He's making the new belt fed upper. So
yeah, I got plans for one of them too.
yeah,
I need to start my own channel where I just build dumb stuff. That's what I think I'm gonna do. Everybody can suck up to companies and be like, "Can I have your newest gun so I can review it?" And make sure it has 13 stars because we don't want to upset anybody and tell the truth. No, I just want to go build dumb stuff and be like, "Hey, check this stupid thing out I built." Like my Hellbreaker. There's no reason for that. It's just fun to shoot.
Well,
My
I took
carry
a
gun,
high
my
point.
carry gun, even Kyle's like, "I like what you got going on here." I'm like, "Yeah, this is not something you're gonna find anywhere else." And I'm
Yeah,
carrying.
we both run unique things.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point in being normal?
Yeah, and you know that's what else is unique? The patch of the month you get every month from Patch of the Month or Patriot Patch Company. Go to Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co. Go over there, talk to Jake and the guys. They're an awesome company. They escaped tyranny in Illinois and moved to South Dakota. And they make awesome PVC patches like the one you see on my microphone, like this one from a couple months ago that says Summertime Vibes. And, you know, every month you can get a new patch and get it in the mail sent to you directly to your door and have something cool every month to go on the patch wall. Anything else to add tonight, Joe?
No, I think I'm good. If
No.
anybody's wondering, we think Garth will be back at some time. Until then, he's just gonna be our punching board.
Yeah, he's coming back. It's they're in the middle of harvest, so he'll be back soon, eventually. He says,
Maybe,
but
unless
allegedly,
unless his music career takes off, and then he's just gonna big time all of us. And
that he'll abandon us. But no, with that, guys, you know what I'm about to say. We live in interesting times, guys. Go out, get training. I know that I always say stack cheap or buy cheap and stack deep. Go buy ammo, go buy mags. They're cheap right now. Everything's kind of plentiful. Ammo prices have come way back down. You won't be sad you have it. Go out.
the worst thing is you don't use it, and then it does spike, and you can be like, "Hey guys, I want to buy stuff."
Yeah. But
If you do that, you get slapped. Just shoot it.
Guys, go out, get training, get medical training. Remember that no matter what else happens, you are your own first responder. No one is coming to save you. Expect to self-rescue. And you folks out there, you stay safe and stay armed.